Hello tanks and tankettes, welcome to a bit of a departure from my usual kind of mods and news videos. Normally I pick out a replay and say what I'm going to say over that, but this time I'm going to try it with a bit of live gameplay. I'm going to try and talk and play at the same time, and we know that usually doesn't go well, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. There's a couple of things I want to get through. First is 9.7 mods, and you'll find a link below. The only real major change this time, well, you can see it right now. I've actually enabled the garage tank carousel so that you can have multiple rows. There will be instructions on how to change this in the actual README file, because you can set it to have 3, 4 rows, but you can obviously, if you're having more rows, you'll want to set the icon size to be smaller, or you can disable it and just have the regular strip along the bottom and just have it that way. It's pretty easy to change. It involves one text file. If you have a text editor, you can edit this and it will all be in the README, so read the README. Otherwise, it's all pretty much the same. I was waiting a few extra days to get this out just to let the modders patch a few things, because Kodos is in particular, there was 1 or 2 weird things like floating text boxes in battle. The chat box was in a strange place, and some of the extra Garage XVM features were being a bit weird as well. But those are all updated, so as ever a big thank you to Kodos, Jimbo and Locastan for all the hard work they do putting their mods in, and it obviously lets me put out my collection of their mods, tweaked to fit my own personal preferences. So that's mods out of the way with. I'm just going to hit the battle button now and we'll see what happens. The next thing that is that I want to talk about is Tankfest. I am going to be at Tankfest 2015, and I've been... oh, this is good matchmaking. I've been given a pass by Wargaming. Wargaming are actually sponsoring Tankfest this year, so they should have a... I mean, they usually have a presence. It might be a bigger presence than they had last year, but there are a bunch of people that are going to go. Circon's definitely going to be there. phj might not be. It looks like he won't be, unfortunately, but there will be a host of other YouTubers, community contributors, streamers, people like that. So yeah, there's going to be a couple of familiar faces for me, people that I won't have met before, and I'm guessing a bunch of you guys are going to be there as well, because this will be my first time attending any kind of event like this, so it should be rather interesting just from that point of view. Also, apologies if you can hear lawnmowers and things in the background. We're having a day of sunshine, so everybody's rushed out to mow their lawn. So that's Tankfest. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also a little bit nervous about it, because like I said, I've never done anything like this before, so it will be really rather different to, like, I've never... I'm sure there are going to be a few people there that will come up to me and will be, you know, people like you lot, people that watch my videos and are subscribers, and that's going to be a bit surreal, because up till now it's basically been me sitting behind a computer screen. And I have talked to subscribers via, you know, I chat to people in the comments, and there are people I've chatted to in-game, and even a couple of people I've ended up talking to on things like Skype. But meeting people face to face is going to be a whole other thing, and if I look like I am, you know, a rabbit caught in headlights, it's because I've mentioned this previously, and I think it probably bears mentioning again at this particular point, but I'm on the autistic spectrum. I actually have been diagnosed with Asperger's, which for the most part, you know, I guess I get off lightly, I suppose, in some ways, but I don't occasionally do well with other people. Like I can panic or find it a bit stressful or whatever. So if I do look like, I don't know, I'm sure it'll be fine, but just on the off chance I look like I want to go and hide under a desk, you'll know why. But I am genuinely looking forward to it, though. I think it should be a lot of fun, and I don't know, it will be a lot, it'll be interesting to see how it goes exactly. Also, yes, I did bounce 1 heat shell from this guy, so that's not bad going. I should be able to kill him, I hope. There we go. Is there anything else down there? Oh, there's a KP3 at the other end of the street, which is not good. Scouts are making a push. So that's Tankfest, really. I don't have much else to say about that. This Type 64, maybe? No? Wow, that shot really went nowhere. The last thing is Patreon. And it's not really Patreon directly itself I want to talk about. It is a piece of news related to Patreon. Now, the first monthly payment has gone in, the first group of subscriptions, and that's all been successful. And obviously, a big thank you to everyone that has, because it leads me to my next oh, that frame rate derp though. I don't know what happened there. My next item, which is, I am actually now officially no longer Dole Scum. I have actually been able to go and, I'll explain the situation. I was basically on a form of benefit that meant that I had to, I was getting a sort of subsistence levels of benefit to help me live, basically, with being unemployed and all, and not getting much from YouTube. Although I was, you know, declaring my YouTube income, they did know about that. But basically, with the combination of YouTube and Patreon, I'm now making enough that it is enough to live on, at least up here. One of the few advantages of living here. You know, the internet may be fairly terrible, but it's also not especially expensive living here. So I'm actually able to live on what I can make off of both YouTube and Patreon combined. So a big thank you to everyone that has signed up to support me on Patreon. I do appreciate that. Oh, hello, Mr. Sneaky Panther. Still firing premium, but I had the hit points to take the hit, so that's fine. So, oh, hello, artillery. Even on Himmelsdorf, artillery will find a way. Oh well, I can just sit here and relax and concentrate on talking now. We are winning this. So, the thing I've been able to do now is I've been able to basically go and sign off, because the job seekers allowance, the prerequisite for that is you have to be searching for work. So it's not like while I've been doing all the YouTube stuff, it's not like I've just only been doing YouTube stuff. I have been applying for jobs, I've been looking for jobs. You know, you've got to show them that you're doing this on in my case, a fortnightly basis. And you have to go and sign on every 2 weeks and say, here's what I've been looking for, here's what I've applied for, and if you don't, they penalise you. So I've been doing that steadily for the last 2 years, and I've applied for things, and I've had various interviews, and none of them have ever resulted in anything. So that's one of the reasons why why I finally made that jump in the first place, because frankly, long-term unemployment sucks. And I was, you know, starting to get part of my income from YouTube anyway, but not nearly enough to live on its own, because job seekers is means tested. Whatever you earn otherwise, up to the threshold, obviously, of job seekers itself, you know, the maximum amount that you get, they basically take off job seekers. So YouTube on its own was not enough, and I think YouTube itself, you know, a lot of people starting off on YouTube are probably gonna find this these days, that you need something extra. YouTube on its own, unless you have probably hundreds of thousands of subscribers, it isn't going to be enough to live on, not just from the actual ad revenue. So that's why you see people doing Twitch more and trying to get people to subscribe to them on Twitch, and people doing brand deals and getting sponsorships and these kind of things, because ad revenue alone on YouTube just is really not enough these days. So this is a big change for me, and it's a little bit scary as well, because I've got to keep all of you happy, basically. This is now my job, effectively. I am doing this as my sole means of supporting myself, so it's a little bit of a scary change, but I'm just happy to not be more or less, not entirely relying on job seekers, but more or less entirely relying on job seekers. So this is the third bit of news, and it's a fairly big bit of news in sort of personal terms. It doesn't have any effect on most of you watching this. My videos are still going to go out as they ever were before, and we've actually had a bit of an oddity with the last string of videos all being tanks videos. Tomorrow's video isn't going to be that, but yeah, so I thought it was worth doing a video about that, and also I got my ×5 daily, which has put me that much closer to the T30. In fact, you know what? Screw it, it's only 2,000 free XP. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to sell the T28 prot. I am not going to regret it for a second, so there we go. Here's another little bit of bonus, I don't know, whatever, on the end of this. So, actually, we want to keep that 120mm gun, because that's a stock gun. The engine probably doesn't carry across, so that's fine. The turret, obviously. Actually, I think the engines are used on the T20. Yeah, it said T28, didn't it? So we can just sell all of that. that we don't need and keep other bits that we do need. 1, 5, 5, 7, 9, 4. I can numbers, although it obviously requires me to read them out loud in this case. And we should have enough cash that I can immediately go into the tech tree and buy that T30. And it's actually on discount right now, so that's awfully nice as well. So, purchase without crew, 3 million credits. Oh, that feels so good to get rid of the T28 though. The prop that's just, ugh. So I can immediately mount the 120mm gun. So I'm not piddling around with the T29 gun on a tier 9 tank destroyer. I wonder if it gets no, it's the same turret. Okay, so I need to research the engine, and I've got the radio. And oh, that's a new option, by the way. Automatically return crew. I'm not entirely sure what that does, that checkbox. I've not quite figured that out yet. Anyway, T28 prot. Put all the prot crew in. I seem to have various random crew at the moment for things that I'm not quite sure. So I've got a Chaffee crew that's left over from the Chaffee racing event that is still kind of sat around. Right, and also I can finally put that M103 loader to use who's just been hanging around for ages. He's actually got a decent number of skills because this has got 6 crew members, so that's actually quite handy that I had that because the M103 to the T110E5 you're basically losing a crew member. So I am going to we'll just retrain this. I'm aware this is not really, this is just me doing things I really should be doing off video at this point, but anyway, it's my T30. I'm finally there. No more T28 prot. Like, that tank had its moments, but I am not sad to not have it in my garage anymore. Like, it's just frustrating more often than not. So there we go. I now have a T30 with the 120mm gun, which is still, that's still pretty good for a, like, that's acceptable for a tier 9 tank destroyer. And then of course it gets the big gun, the one that people are scared of. But yeah, we'll see how it goes with this. I'm sure you'll see some replays in the very near future. So as regards mods, any questions you may have, you're better off going to ask the actual mod creators. There are links in the readme file where you can find the forums, the forum posts, the threads where they actually have posted their stuff, and you can feedback to them there. But I may be able to help with minor stuff, I don't know, but your first port call is best with the modders. Otherwise, I hope to see you at Tankfest if you're there. Don't be shy, do come up to me. I may look terrified, but, you know, I've gone there in the full knowledge that I am going to meet people, so do come up to me anyway. If you have any other questions, comments, whatever, you can leave them below. You can hit the like button. You can, of course, subscribe to my channel. And, as always, stay tuned for more.